welcome to Szeged in Hungary for the third International Canoe Federation Sprint World Cup of the 2014 season. Athletes from 52 nations are going to be racing on the legendary National Olympic Sports Centre, the spiritual home of canoe sprinting. Over the next hour, we're going to be following 10 races, the A finals. I'm Matthew Leighton, and I'm delighted to be joined by Naomi Flood, or Floody to everyone, from Australia, and Jonathan Boynton, John to everyone but his parents from Great Britain. So good morning, both of you.
Morning.
Morning. Great morning. Good to be here.
So whether it's possibly the fairest conditions we've seen all weekend. Friday in qualification, if you're in certain lanes, it was a massive challenge to get through. That's why we have some big names, perhaps haven't been making the finals, but that's the way it works. Yesterday, a slight headwind, and today the conditions?
It's beautiful out there. I had a paddle this morning, and it's really warm. It's not as laney as they say, as it has been. It seems to be quite fair. The wind swung a little bit earlier, and it's a little bit cross-head, but it's quite nice out there.
So if you were competing and you could choose a lane?
I'd probably choose lane 6. I like even numbers, so 6 goes for me.
Yeah, it's a lot fairer than it was on the qualifying stages, definitely.
First race today is going to be a rapid one. We had a really scintillatingly fast time last week in Machichi. It's for the men. It's the K1, 500 meters. It's not going to be the same winner as last year because Josef Dostal is not competing, but we have the fastest man of all time who perhaps has something to go for today because due to the wind he missed out on the A final in the 1,000 meters. It's Canadian Adam van Koeverden. We have Lockie Tame, who sat next to Adam here yesterday in the commentary box, and we have some really fast guys. We have Tomicevic from Serbia, who has been on form and has some really good results. In the 1,000 meters he came 5th, so he's looking good. Stoinski, he was in the K4 last week, and he's changed tactics a little bit for Germany to see how fast he can go. Of course, we have 2 Germans in this race. Kasper Bleibart, he's been around an awful long time now for Denmark, 30 years old, finalist in London 12 Olympic Games. And his best result so far is in the Europeans in 2008, won the gold medal. Lockie, tell me about him.
Little Lockie, he had a flyer in the semi-final the other day, and he's really looking forward to racing well. Pretty excited to race against Adam. Adam's the master of this event, you know, and with Ken Wallace sitting out from the A final today, I think Lockie and Adam will give it a good nudge, especially you've got some great names in this race. Rene Poulsen, he's looking to have a better result than the 1,000 yesterday as well. So,
yeah, Rene was stuck out in one of the outside lanes yesterday as well. So
Max Hoff, who clearly has been dominating so far, he told me it wasn't as easy as it looked, but he's been doing very well. Won the 1,000 meter. Kochev from Bulgaria has some 23 years old and some good records to his name. And outside we have Estonia. He was 9th in the final last week, but did make the final of the K1 500 meters, but slightly off the pace. So conditions great, hopefully a good time, and let's see who's going to win.
You can see how still it is out there. The flags in the bottom of the screen aren't moving at all, so fair
Adam
start.
Adam van Koeverden in your picture, say he has the fastest time of all. He is a Olympic gold medal winner.
Yeah, 10 years ago he won the K1 500 in Athens, so he's very experienced in this race, and little Lockie Tame has really taken it out fast and hard. He has to. He's a 200 specialist, so the rating's up, and you know, he's put a boat length into the guys already. So
Lockie was on the water about 40 minutes ago, just going through the paces in the B final of the K1 200. But there he is in your picture.
Yeah, he's got the speed sunnies on. He's looking good. He's only a little fella, but he's got really good power to weight ratio, and he's seems to be giving it to the guys here. So
the 500 is a great blending pot event because you've got the 200 guys and the 1,000 guys. The 200 guys were going out hard, and the 1,000 guys will probably be kicking about halfway and trying to come through at the end.
Well,
halfway through it looks like Rene Hulten Poulsen is coming back. He has tactics this year with a new coach, but can he hold on?
Go Lockie. Yeah, Rene Poulsen obviously very good at this event too. Adam's hanging in there. The guys at the bottom of the screen, you can't count them out at the moment. So Lockie's race plan is to go out hard and just try and hold on.
Well, certainly he's doing that, but it looks, unfortunately for him, it looks like Rene Hulten Poulsen's clawing him back as they approach the last 100 meters with the red boys. So here we go.
Rene looks so good. He's such a... Oh, look at him. He's overtaken.
Really relaxed technique, really good leg drive.
Kirchhoff at the bottom of your screen has maybe something to say in this, but so far 60 metres to go. Rennie Holton-Poulsen perhaps wants it the most.
Adam's coming back at him. Bulgarian lane 8.
There we have fairly clear cut in the end. First, Rennie Holton-Poulsen puts his hand in the air.
It's a good win. He had a tough race yesterday. He'd be very happy to come back with a good result today.
Well done. And second place, Miroslav Kirchen came through, and Adam van Koeverden, excellent. He's on the place where he deserves, which is the ceremony podium, which we'll be seeing a bit later.
Adam's such a technician. I think he's the greatest paddler technically. He just looks so fluid all the time. The great Max Hoff, unbeaten in the K1000 quite some time now. So good names in that event. Great conditions. Look how glassy it is. Renee just showing it how it's done.
So far in the 3 World Cups, which is the third of 3, we're in Milan, and that was Dombi Novari from Hungary who won that one. He's had a bit of an illness, unfortunately, this week. Not great timing for a local guy. Then we had Josef Dostal last week, and this week we have Rennie Holton-Poulsen. So it shows there's a good depth of field across the athletes.
Definitely, and the guys back up. They do the 500, the 1,000, and a lot of them are in team boats as well. So big programs for them all, and it's just great to be racing.
Confirmation of the official results for the K1 500 metres. Rennie Holton-Poulsen takes gold for Denmark. Kirchhoff, Bulgaria, takes silver. Adam van Koeverden for Canada takes bronze, with Hoff and Lucky Tame in 5th. Tutsi, Stronsky, Bleibach and Tomicevic this time.
Time's looking kind of average out there, not particularly fast but not particularly slow, so it looks like very fair conditions.
That's what we want to see. The action is thick and fast here today, and we're moving on to the women. It's the flying foursomes. It's the K4 500 metres, and it's going to be interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, some great crews in here. The Great Britain girls took it out yesterday in the K2, so looking to back up with some more good results. The Hungarian crew, you can't go past them. They're world and Olympic champions. Romania actually had a flyer in their heat yesterday morning and got the win, which automatically got them through to the final.
Yeah, Rachel Cawthon's actually stroking the K4 this year, which she hasn't done in previous years.
Chinese crew, I think they were medalists in Milan. They've got 2 really strong crews, and giving it to the girls, all the Europeans. The French girls,
well, they've been there or thereabouts. They keep mixing and matching their foursome, but it seems to be
the Brits
making good. Yeah, a few seconds on the Brits.
So we've got Rachel in the front, followed by Jess, Angela Hanna, and then sitting in the back, Louisa Sawyers. Louisa, of course, being trained by Paul W. Dowman now.
And the Hungarian girls.
It's completely different to the world and Olympic squad. 2 of the girls are pregnant. 1 has a bad back. We'll go into that in a second. Romania have been looking good in the last events. Yeah,
the Romanian girls just sort of come out of nowhere, I guess, and they're giving it to the girls, such as the Germans. It's a great crew. It's the K2 combination in there. They've changed the seating arrangement around again, and they've got Connie Wasmuth in there and another young girl.
Well, any Russians as well. We've had the girls in activity all weekend. Sabitova in the K2 200, Lebova, Anishina in the K2 200, and it's looking good. And the young Swedish team, we saw them perform extraordinarily well in Milan, and they've been together now for a little bit of time.
Silver medalists in Milan, and they're both in the K2 final, so they're building boats together and working together well. So they're going to give it to these Polish girls. The Polish girls last week were very impressive, taking the win.
They're mixing and matching. They've only got 1 from the actual violin, but they're mixing and matching. But as you mentioned, they still have a lot of high-caliber athletes in this.
Great depth in the European countries. And
of course, the boats in 4, 5 and 6 would have gone straight through from their heat, so they wouldn't have had to race a semi yesterday, so they'll be slightly more rested.
Gabriela Zabo in your picture. She's the only one who's survived the World Championship winning. We have Kathleen Kojak's pregnant. We have Christina Fagat pregnant. And Natasha Dustradjanic, who's been around all week here. She has a back injury. Not sure when she's going to come back. But here are the girls going.
It's very still out there. So the girls will be looking to get out of the gate really quickly, get the boat up and running, and basically just hum it all the way to the finish. It gets hard and fast and gets faster.
Rachel will be buzzing from a result yesterday and hopefully trying to emulate the same thing today.
But in your picture, Yunetta Vad, who's going to be going later in the 200 metres. Francisco Weber there, the young Swedes, so they're all up for it at the moment.
You can see lane 6 has really jumped out there. the Germans looking for a good start. The young Swedish girls working well in the last couple of regattas. The Germans are taking it out with the Hungarians just on the other side. The Hungarians look like they've just got the lead.
The Brits still looking it though.
They're coming into the halfway mark. I think the Hungarians are just in front.
So 3 teams in it so far.
K4 is very much a slowing down race. You'll go out and you'll hit the fastest pace you can, and then all the boats slow down as they come towards the finish. But the Brits are in it. The Brits are in it for a medal here.
200 metres
got to hold on.
go. Let's talk about some of the other teams as well.
The Hungarians are just dominating here. They get a sniff of the win and they just go for it. And Danusia Kovacs in seat 2 there, the Olympic champion K1.
Well,
10
500
race.
metres yesterday.
Looking really relaxed out there in the front. They certainly won't be feeling like that, but it certainly looks that way.
Well,
So
down
you
to the
have-
last 70 metres now, and it's going to be the locals who are going to come home. It's going to be Hungary. Who's going to take second? The suspense is off, unfortunately. It's going to be Germany.
The Germans look like they're going to take a solid silver.
Looks like a bronze medal here for the Brits though.
Brits have had a great weekend. And 4th place, minor placing's tough. Could it have been Russia? Could it have been France? But Hungary really showing how it's done. They've got Anna Karash in seat 3 there. She's a new young under-23 girl. The 2 girls in the front, very experienced. Nanetta in the back there, also in the K4 last year from World. So strutting their stuff, they know what they're doing, and that's why they're the best in the world.
But they had all the pressure on, didn't they? And so it was a great performance.
Yeah, it's great to get a win on this course in front of the friends and family, and great conditions.
Hungary always seem to step up their game in front of the home crowd as well, I found.
I think it's the vuvuzelas and the horns and things that are going in the stands. The people go crazy for it. It's their #1 sport with water polo, so they're right on into it, and there's plenty of kids paddling here, and that's why it's so popular.
Brilliant result for the Brits though, getting a medal.
They've had a really good weekend, you guys. You Poms, you've done well here, so
The momentum's growing. Obviously,
Yeah.
doing something correct, technically, everything. And we'll talk about it in a minute, but obviously you made a final as well.
Yeah, I made the final in the K2000 yesterday.
But here we go,
Good
in
job,
your
mate.
picture. There's no doubting the winners from today.
They're strong girls. They're onto it. They know what they're doing.
Let's hope they're strong. Netavad's going to be going in about half an hour in the K1 200 metres. Confirmation of the official results. First gold medal for Hungary, silver medal for Germany, and bronze medal for Great Britain. Well, we've got a quick gap. John, talking about your race yesterday.
Thanks. Well, Ed and myself were really stoked just to make it into the final. Actually, we had an absolutely great semi. Hit it hard, attack from the beginning. The final, we were well in the race at about 500. Then it just got away from us a little bit. But we were very pleased with our weekend's performance overall.
Well, thank you very much for that. And now we're switching from kayaks to canoes. Again, 500 metres. It's a speedster certainly going today. Interesting to see Brendel has decided, Sebastian Brendel, the dominator of the 1,000 metres, decided to do the 500 metres. We have his arch rival, Vada, the local hero, Marcin Grabowski, pretty much been in every World Cup in both events for the last few years. So he's an ever-present, and we have some youngsters coming through. 19 years old a few days ago. Kaut, he's in a couple of races this weekend. I suppose pressure's off, but it'd be interesting to see how he actually comes through.
And Serbia in lane 3. This is a fast race. It's great the girls are doubling up, doing the 500, the 1,000. And Brendel, he's just the wizard at the canoeing at the moment. He had probably a better lane draw the other day for the left side stroker, but in these conditions it's all pretty fair today.
Tudler, 22 years old. His best result, this year in Milan, he came 4th in the C2.
And Attila Vajda, he's a hero here. He's a rock star. He's on posters everywhere. They absolutely adore him. He's the man of the canoeing.
Mark Aldershaw had a fantastic season so far. Yesterday, maybe a little down, I'm not quite sure, but he still made the final. But today, he's going to add to his medal tale, hopefully for him. Maxim Schmuck, he again has been in quite a few finals this season, so he's looking to produce that again.
They're the two Ukrainians next to each other in lane 8 and 9. This is Yuri Chaban in lane 9 coming up. I'm pretty sure this would be their selection as well, because a lot of these countries we haven't seen in the World Cup, so some countries are still deciding who's going to race the spot.
Yuri
There's
Chaban,
Yuri.
he missed out on the A final of the C1 200, but he actually raced the B final a few minutes ago. Clearly, he is the Olympic champion. So
So He's very good, obviously.
For me, my money's on Attila Vida here, definitely. Like we said, the Hungarians definitely step it up in front of the home crowd.
He was not going to be lacking motivation yesterday. He came a fairly close second in the 1,000 metres. He is clearly the 1,000 metre world champion, which was taken from Sebastian Brendel in his backyard last September in Duisburg. So today it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to come through.
Brendel just, as he paddles, I asked the question, being a kayaker, what makes him so good? And they say he has a really good stroke, good technique. He's long, so he gets really good length at the front and just moves the boat well. He is a big human. He's probably 6'5", so lean, and it has to be aggressive off the start here. These boats are pretty different to the kayak.
Yeah, a lot of the athletes are built very much like powerlifters as well. There's a much lower stroke rate because obviously they're paddling on just the one side, so they really need to be built powerfully.
You can see Yuri taking it out from lane 9. It looks quite even across the other side of the course. I think the conditions aren't favourable to either side at the moment. So,
well, Yuri is interesting because he actually easily won his C1 B final half an hour ago. Some of the other boys who had to go in both finals were taking easy, but he saw that as a training. I'd say it's the first time we've seen him this year on the international stage. Interesting to see what his priorities are. But he was in a really, really tough semi-final yesterday, so it's not surprising that Vida into a picture, who does finish very, very fast. So it's going to be fascinating to see the different tactics of them both.
I think the Polish Michael Kudla from Poland's actually having a great race in the middle there, taking it to Brendel. It's tight. They're coming into the last 200 now.
Brendel is still looking very strong though, isn't he? Very strong.
You can see that's Mark Oldershaw from Canada in lane 7. He's had a blinder. He's gone under the radar, and he's in front. He's a boat in front. He can see the line. He's hunting it down.
He's just picked up his rate slightly, hasn't he? But that's resulted in the boat just picking up its speed there.
And Brendel's picking up as well.
Last 100 metres to go. Brendel's coming back. Oldershaw's holding on. It's going to be close.
This is going to be on the lunge, surely.
Oh, it's tight, and they're far away from each other. They can't see each other very clearly over here.
Sebastian Brendel is slightly pulling away, but Oldershaw may be coming back. It's
tight. As they shoot the boat forward, you'd have to say Brendel got the win there. He's done the fist pump. He looks pretty happy. Canada for the silver.
And he's given it his all, I believe.
No, he's done the double. That's why he's the best. That's why he's the champion.
Putting down a marker with 2 months to go until we all go to the Worlds in Moscow this year. But excellent performance all round. Mark Oldershaw, he's picked up a stack of medals on this European tour. They've been over here for over a month now, so it can't be easy. But both Canadians, best mates, are on the podium.
Yeah, Adam and Mark are the great mates, grew up together. Mark actually used to kayak. He used to stroke the K4 and sit in the front seat of the K4. And in the same boat as Adam, and they actually paddled canoe kayak, both disciplines together, and then Mark opted for the canoeing. It was tight. It was a good finish.
And third, let's not forget to mention Christoph Kaut, just 19 years old last week. He is a junior world champion, so it looks like he's going to have a scintillating future. Maybe a couple of notable absences this week. Santos from Brazil is not present. We have Fuchsa from Czech Republic. He's not present, so when we come to the Worlds, there's going to be perhaps a little bit more competition, but you can only beat the person out in front of you. Confirmation of results. Brendel gold, as always. Oldershaw silver, as often. And Kaut, the future. Bronze for Hungary. Grabowski taking a great 4th place for Poland.
And you see, poor Yuri had a great start, finished 7th, but I think you have to put it on the line in these kind of races, and being a non-Olympic distance anymore, the guys just have to give it their all, and every time you get on the start line, you do give it your all. Every time it's another race, and give yourself an opportunity.
There's still a great amount of kind of respect and enjoyment though in 500-meter racing, I found, even though it's no longer in the Olympics. I still find a lot of the athletes, there's still that kind of that hunger for it.
Yeah, for sure. It's another race, it's a medal, it's on the program. You're going to have a good crack, aren't you? You can see the young Canadian crew, they were pretty pumped with their race today. A few rescues going on out here from the shooting across the line, so it's very safe out here on the Olympic course.
And a word for Józefski, who didn't actually make it off the start line in his semi-finals yesterday in the C1 200. It's one of those freak little falling things when he went too early. We're having a little bit of a pause because the organisers are waiting to organise everything for the one and only medal ceremony we're going to see, and it is a really, really healthy crowd. They're cheering on. They haven't anyone in the medal ceremony today, but they're cheering on everyone because we have some big, big names coming up in front of us.
Yeah, it really is a treat actually racing here in Szeged, and one of the things that really does make the competition is the crowd.
Oh, you can see they love it. They really get behind their athletes and the sport in general. It's really popular, and there's plenty of people here. It's been very busy over the last few days.
Yeah, definitely. There's a proper festival atmosphere here.
Well, there is 2 or 3 kilometres down the road in Szeged Centre. There's a huge, great wine festival, which some of the athletes who have finished competing, Floody, have actually been to.
I went past the wine festival last night, yeah, and the Champion League grand final soccer match was on. So we had a look at that and enjoyed the food and wine festival. Yeah, it was great. It was great atmosphere down there, and just good to be a part of it. Everyone's so friendly and good vibes all round.
Our performance director went out for a morning run this morning actually, and said he was dodging wine bottles.
Oh yeah, it was.
And
there'd be a good
Australian
clean-up.
athletes.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun, and it's great to be here. The weather's so much better than last week, obviously. So everyone's enjoying it. The athletes, staff.
Well, we're looking at the 3 gentlemen who were first, second and third about half an hour ago on the K1 500 metres. Adam van Koeverden, who's going to take the bronze medal. I wonder what his memories are going to be, because clearly in the World Championships in Szeged in 2011, he, I don't know the right word, but he just completely obliterated the field to take a very great victory.
Yes, he's, like I said, I can't speak highly enough about Adam. I think he's the greatest paddler of our time. Technically, nice guy, great guy, intelligent. Really knows he's paddling, and paddling K2 the last 12 months. He's just come back into the K1 scene, and he's back in the mix, and he's finding his feet again, and he's got the hunger, and he was really disappointed after his 1,000 yesterday,
But kept it hidden in the commentary box, always professional.
He did. He's a great guy, and it's great to see him back on the podium.
Good mature race he raced there as well. Like, he had the confidence to come through at the end and hold back just enough at the start. So
yeah, different to his usual racing skills, I guess. He normally starts off and goes hell for leather, and that's what young Lockie did. But
there's the man we're talking about, Adam van Koeverden. Has local connections, obviously a born Canadian, but mummy is from Hungary, so he's a bit nervous pronouncing the Hungary names, but he's got them all spot on yesterday.
He knows what he's doing.
Local dignitaries handing out the medals, saying this is your 427th medal, but please keep it and value it.
Yeah, he certainly does have a big medal cabinet, doesn't he?
Bulgaria also on the podium.
Miroslav Kirchev.
23 years old, very powerfully built.
Yeah, they that is the difference, I think, between the 500 and the 1,000. More so the sprinter guys, I think, and like you spoke before, John, that the blending of 200 to 500 to 1,000 is you can tell the difference between the athletes these days. The sprintier athletes are, let's say, more dense, a bit nuggety. Whereas the 1,000 guys are a bit longer.
Well, there you go.
Would that be fair?
Rennie Holton Poulsen on the top of the podium, where he's been many, many times in the last few years. Deserve a victory.
of course he had an excellent race. He's got a very unique technique, but a lot of leg drive going into each stroke and really kind of pushing the boat forward.
Might work today.
Very efficient, yeah.
And in fair conditions, which is what we want.
That's it. You just want it to be fair.
Congratulations.
Oh, the infamous selfie. Is it going to happen? One of the boys... Oh, Rene looks like he's going for the phone. Better get the shot, guys. This is what we spoke about last week. All the guys...
It looks like they have received the wrong medals.
Oh.
Whoops.
But there you go. It's been put right.
They're going to go in for the kiss.
This is weird. All the guys want a medal so they can get involved in the podium selfie. Yeah, it's great. See, it's all... Everyone's buds. They're all mates. And get off the water and it's done.
As you can see, the crowd is very healthy. Good to see some big sponsors for the actual event. Anyway, moving on to some of the fastest men in the planet here. It's the K1 200 meters, and we really have some big boys and big names. Lane number 5, Mark de Jong, who won last week. Drago Salelovic, who won in Rachichi last year at 19 years old. Totka, still at school, at high school. He's taking some important exams still. He's just 19 years old, and obviously a great profile for Hungary. Maxime Richard, who at the moment is the world champion in wild water sprint, so he can keep it going. Gurchik from Serbia, one of 2 Serbians in the final. Mark de Jong from Nova Scotia takes any conditions, but very, very fast, and silver medalist by a trillionth of a second in the World Championships. Dudas, enormous giant from Hungary against 2 Hungarians rather in the final. Mr. Hairstyle, we're just about to see the top of it. If he wins, he's going to be celebrating for the next few minutes. Really smiles for the cameras, did well in the Europeans. Petter Manning, he had an off week, slight injury maybe last weekend, but he is the world champion from Sweden.
And European champion, so he can race.
And for Lithuania, we have Nakauskas, 24 years old. He was 5th in the worlds. And Jonas Ems, who many, many years has picked up loads of medals in the K2 200, is having a go this year at the K1 100. Enough of me talking, give us a few views.
It's impressive, 2 Hungarians, 2 Serbians in the final. Obviously the sprint program's working there.
Yeah, definitely. Dudas had a very impressive semi yesterday.
My tips, Mark de Jong in lane 4 from Canada. He was outstanding last week and had a great semi yesterday. He's really happy with how his paddling form's going and really excited to race today. You wouldn't know, he doesn't express it much, but he's very, very excited.
Retired after 2008, came back, and didn't he do a good idea? Yes, certainly. So here we go, 35 seconds of action, 175 strokes a minute, so they're going to be doing about 90 strokes, but here they go.
Lithuania, lane 8, great start, second from the bottom.
The Gurchik's in lane number 4 is off way fast.
Mark de Jong in lane 4, I think he's had a cracker. Lane 8 is hooking from Lithuania.
De Jong still looking very, very strong though out there in lane 4.
De Jong is so strong this last 50 metres.
Dudas though getting...
The Hungarians coming at him, lane 5.
It's going to be really close, but it looks like lane number 5 is coming through.
It's going to be so tight on the line.
Oh, big shoot. He's gone for the big shoot. And the Hungarians done the massive claim. This guy's 6'7", and he's just about as wide. A massive back on him, and he's pumped.
Massive long arms, massive long reach.
Massive tattoos.
Yeah.
The back's quite impressive, isn't it?
It's artwork, yeah.
But if you can do it, why not? And he takes, well, it looks like he's taken the victory. It was obviously, as in this race, often very, very close. Ed McKeever sitting it out with a small virus, so you're taking notes of who's going to be competing against him.
Big shoot. It is tight. Looked like Mark got a bit short in the last 50.
And maybe Petter Manning is going to be looking for a second bronze medal in a row.
You see some of the guys have little coloured bits at the end of their boat. That's because it shows up a lot better on the photo finish.
Yeah, the nose of the boat, so we can see that, well, for the photo finish, especially in the 200s, they're always so tight. You need an advantage.
What are they calling? Yes, Dudas, de Jong and Manning. Hungary take the gold medal. Canada take another medal. It's silver this time. And Manning takes his second medal in a row by picking up the bronze.
It's a solid field. It's always hard and close, so it's great racing and some names in the final with not bad times.
First 3 within 0.6 of a second, so I suppose that's fairly standard here.
Tight racing. The winds just started to pick up a little bit.
We're going straight from the kayaks to the canoes. Who do we look out for here? Well, maybe in lane number 6, Koravshkov. He's very fast. In end of April in the Russian Cup, he actually came second in the C1 200. But this big man from France has a pedigree. William Chamba is faster than Google at the moment in this distance, so it's going to be interesting to see how he comes on. Evgeny Shuklin, he's got quite a few Olympic and world medals, first time out this year, absolute giant among giants. Silver, he was the fastest off in the final, held a silver in the final last week and managed to come in 3rd position, taking up the bronze position.
Iran in lane 4. It's good to see the guys here racing the World Cup Series. There's many nations here.
Yeah, really great global spread here.
Sakamoto, he was in the World's Finals in Duisburg last year. He came 9th. Crossing to make it all happen. Extraordinarily talented yesterday. I'd say he was in the C2 1000.
Local Hungarian.
Adam Lantos, 24 years old. In the Milan event, he came 3rd. Jason McCoon, still 21. He took the silver in the under-23 World Championships.
Stefan Kiraj just got the C1 200 spot for the Germans. So he's their #1 paddler. Won in Milan, am I right? He's a young guy paddling really well and obviously beating Stefan Holtz for the spot. So another big name.
Stefan Holtz, by the way, is going to be coming up in a few minutes with Nook, I believe, in the C2 200 where they are world champions. But they're coming into the start gates.
Especially in the C1, no one ever wants to be the first guy in the bucket because you're obviously there in a slightly unstable position.
That's what the hanging back is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to see the clear perspex buckets here as well. It means that you can't hold back and then kind of get a bit of a rolling start, which you can do with the opaque yellow ones.
Everyone says that seems to be onto a winner.
See, we've got a little bit of wind there. Not much breeze.
Still looking fairly even though.
Adam Lantos, the local boy in your picture. Last year he came 5th. Up to the start to decide when to let them go. And they're off! Just less than 40 seconds of pain.
Lane 5 looks like they've got the early lead then.
Japan jumped really well out of the gate then.
Sakamoto in the Olympics, he came 8th in the final in London.
It's tight, it's very tight racing.
Cool right now.
Ratings are up.
Look out at the top of your picture in yellow. Shuklin normally comes through.
Lithuania. It's got that lime green.
Held
suit on.
also close in lane number 3. But it looks like Alexei Kovashkov wants it also.
Lane 6. They're going to be a big shoot. He's got a
Russia,
long
Lithuania.
stroke.
It's going to be either Yevgeny Shuklin, 4th in Duisburg. Kovashkov not invited to Duisburg last year, but he may be claiming the medal. Instant character.
Power sports. You can see these guys. They're big guys. They're solid. They've spent a lot of time in the gym.
They say the connections. They say when he decides to win a race, he wins it.
There you go. Flick the switch and he's happy
Any
as Larry.
distance.
Japanese guy got out of those gates really well, so he'd be happy with that result.
Frightening for the Russians there because 2 athletes who came 1st and 2nd last week, Anton Kreto and Ivan Shutil, not here this week. So look at the strength in depth.
A lot of the time the athlete will actually have a better kind of idea of whether they've got it or not.
Yeah.
It's quite often a lot harder to see after the commentary.
Well, let's wait for the... You know it's close if the official results take a little bit of time.
Certainly has changed the last few days, conditions-wise. It's nice out there today.
Confirmation of the results. Kovashkov from Russia takes the gold. Shuklin for Lithuania takes the silver. And Japan on the medal table. Sakamoto takes the bronze with silver this time. Just missing out, but yes, he wins by 0.132 of a second.
Japanese paddler, they had a really great start and just held on all the way to the line there.
We haven't seen many Japanese over here this season so far. Right, a startless K1 at 200 meters. We have to look at Joe Bridgen-Jones. A couple of words.
Yeah, Joe's paddling really well. It's great to see her back in the mix in the K1, and she's come back from injury, so it's great that she's in the final again, taking lane 1 out. There she is. She's very long in the body, so she sits up quite tall. She's got a swivel seat in the boat. That's why her knees are up so high, because she does get very good leg drive.
Teresa Portello was in the K1 500 meters final yesterday, where she took the bronze medal. Been around many years, great ambassador for sport. Carolina Naya, she's been on the verge. She's won loads and loads of medals in the K2 500 and K1 200 at international world level. Natalie Podolskaya, the great debate with her is in Russia you're only allowed to wear red, white and blue, and she always gets a shade of pink in there, but she's a top athlete, university career great, only 21 years old. A little bit on the shy side, but Sarah Guillaume from France, she took out the silver medal last weekend in Rashid. She also competes in the K1 500, just missing out in the final this week. Ninetta Vad, I wonder if she's calmed down a little since her victory about 20 minutes ago in the K4, but had a great, wonderful under-23 career.
Marta from Poland.
Voltagejewicz, she has 5 World Championship silver medals, yet to claim a gold.
She's very quick, very quick.
And Ina here from Kazakhstan, she came 4th last week, looked good. And 36 years old, Yvonne Schering, she's been on form this season, both in the K1 and K2.
Just K1. She medaled yesterday in the K1 500, but She's 2011 world champion K2 500, so she's very experienced. She knows this course really well. It's going to be tight racing. The girls are flying, so it's great conditions. It looks fairly even out there for a good race, and hopefully Jo can get in amongst the pointy end of the results.
Well, not surprising, the local directors are looking at Ninetta Vad, who was in the stern of the winning K4 boat. It's going to be see who has the fastest start. Lisa Carrington, by the way, hello if you're listening. She performed as usual, winning the first 2 World Cups and not competing now, back in New Zealand, having a good time, hopefully.
Resting up before we have to venture all the way back over to Europe for World Championships. Need a break.
Started just making sure everyone's right at the front of their bucket there.
Asking lane 9, Yvonne Schering to move forward a bit.
Like you said before, with the clear buckets, they can see when the nose of the boat isn't touching and they're not completely in. So as they can't jump the start, get that roll.
Yeah, definitely. Even more important in the 200 when the start is so crucial.
Well, they're going for about 40 seconds, aren't they, if they're in luck. Naya in lane 3, Voltagejewicz in lane 7, and Ninetta Vad in the middle of your picture.
Teresa Portella, lane 2's got out to a flyer of a start.
4 boats in a line, it's like 2, 3 and 6 at the moment.
Carolina Naya really winds up. She's in that green and yellow boat, lane 3, top of screen. She gets better as the race goes on. She's got a challenge there from lane 4.
It's Poland against Poland as we come into the last 40 metres. Naya in the green and yellow boat, but in lane number 8.
There's a push to the line. Oh, not much shooting going on there. That was tight.
Well, Ina Klineva, who came 4th last week, and she's came only 6th here last year, but they're giving it to, at the moment, Carolina Naya. She's not massive, is she?
She's very slight. Yeah, she's very strong. Can move the boat really well. She's been very consistent in these last couple of World Cup races.
We've seen in a lot of races so far in this this series, we've seen Poland putting 2 and 3 boats out competing against each other. I've been informed that it counts, but it's not mathematical. Who wins goes through. They're having their national trials next week in Poland, and apparently the coaches I'm speaking to say they're 90% sure of who's going to go in what.
So you'd have to say Naya from Poland, and I'm going to tip Kazakhstan. Ina, she was silver for me, but I think last week she was 3rd in the K1 200, so she's had consistent form as well.
If you're watching at home and you've done a bit of kayaking, just have a look at just how efficient these guys are in the water as well.
That's confirmation of the results. Carolina Naya given it in 40.663, gold medal for Poland. Klineva silver, Voltagejewicz for Poland. It's frequently they get the medals. The reason it's very, very quiet in your background in Ninetta Vad, unfortunately for Hungary, only came in 4th place with Natalie Podolskaya 5th. And Guyos this week is not as scintillatingly fast as last week, which came 2nd. She's down, I believe, 6th position. So, Joe Bridgen-Jones, would you be happy?
Yeah, she'd be happy to be in the final again. Last week she was the winner of the B final, so better result.
Moving on, the idea for the girls in the 200 kayaks is to go under 40 seconds. These girls are trying to go under 50 seconds. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries in the C1 200 women, which, as we repeat, is due to be an Olympic event starting in 2020.
2 Hungarians, 2 Canadians in the final. Good to see depth in these nations. Not many girls paddling canoes in Australia. What about you, John?
There's a program starting to try and get some crossover from other sports.
Taylor Potts, sorry, breaking off there. Briefly will come back, but she was 4th last week. Maybe the favourite. We have Stanlana Stamanova, who came 2nd in Milan, and she came 2nd in the World Championships as well. Latvia, Anja Bazina, new to the international scene. And then the second competitor from Hungary, Znet Laktos. She was 3rd. She took the bronze medal in the Duisburg Worlds, very young still. And from Canada, Megan Sibthorpe, who last weekend she came 8th. Sorry, John, breaking you off. The Brits in the C1 development.
Yeah, there's a program called Girls for Gold where they're trying to find some athletes who have possibly tried in other sports and trying to get them involved in C1. Because at the moment there isn't much for C1 base in England either in the UK.
Well, they have 6 years if things go to plan to a medal's a medal, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that. But 2 Canadians in your picture. Taylor Potts studying communications. And so far Canada, they have a reasonable sized team in it, but everyone's putting themselves, making many finals and doing well.
Small team, yeah, smaller team than usual, so they've just gone with the quality, I think, and targeting certain events.
Well, the winners last weekend was 17-year-old Diana Katushkuna. I messed that one up completely. Kachenka from Belarus, who was twice junior world champion and apparently just made it over the line before she fell out last week.
She had a bit of a spill, yeah, but again, the rescue boat was there to pick her up, and she was back on dry land pretty soon after.
I don't exactly know the temperature of the water, but it's significantly warmer than last week.
It's 23 in the water. Yeah, I didn't swim this morning, but I did dip my finger in.
And we're off. We're going to see different levels. It's a straight final. Latvia here for experience.
The Hungarian, bottom of the screen, second, really got away well.
Well, it's Hungary against Hungary at the moment. We have, sorry, it's not. It's Hungary against Bulgaria at the moment. Stemenova, 25 years old. Milan, she came 2nd. As I say, in the world, she came 2nd. But today, she might be doing a little bit more.
She gets really good length, this young Hungarian girl. She's got a good stroke, I'd say. I'm not sure. She's got a bit of competition from the other girls here, which is great to see.
Sonete Lakatos is going to take it home in lane number 6.
She's going to go for the shoot. Oh, early shoot.
Oh.
Early shoot from lane 4. The Bulgarians misjudged the line, I think.
Lakatos, as I mentioned, was the bronze medal winner.
She's happy. Good girl.
Shooting the boat's a risky tactic. If you do it, you've got to do it right. Otherwise your boat just stops.
And you often fall in, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. See, she gets so low. She's not tall and she doesn't look so super thick like the guys did, but she gets that boat going. You see the shoot there, a bit early, but she might have still hung on there for the silver, the Bulgarian.
Yeah, a learning curve.
Know where the finish line is.
Do you specifically train for spotting the finish line, both of you?
Yeah, definitely. The amount of times that you see athletes kind of shooting early or...
Confirmation of results. Hungary take yet another gold. Bulgaria did hang on to make the silver, and Hungary again in 3rd place.
Important to know where the finish line is for sure. It's you know where you start, you know where you finish. It's
but it's not like the athletics track, is it, where you actually see a line? You don't.
No. Obviously, when when the pain is kicking in, you're hoping he's going to come as soon as possible. So.
Here we go, K2, 200 meters men's final. And who do we look out for here? I suppose in lane 4, Great Britain.
Yeah, definitely. Just missing out on a medal last week, but Liam had raced the K1 just 20 minutes earlier than that. So
Fornell, Monod, they've been making the finals so far. But you couldn't really, well, anticipating another shot, but Molnar and Ban from Hungary.
And the Lithuanian guys got out really well, had a great race last week, so they'll be looking to have another strong performance. Some nice zoot suits going on there. Zipper undone.
Yeah.
Surely you do that up to speed.
Here the Brits coming up. They're a really, really established pair now. They know exactly what they're doing.
Train 3 times a day, 6 days a week. And the French, they're switching the team around. Sébastien Jouve is constant, but last week it was Ibois. This weekend it's Maxime Beaumont. And the men of the moment so far, they won in Milan, they won in Rachichi. A new pairing this year, Ronnie Rao, Tom Leibischer, and they seem to complement each other.
Don't rule out the Argentinian crew. They're right in the mix every time, and they're getting better every race.
And pretty much always in the finals, Svensson och Svankis from Sweden. Just obviously got a good program going there. But Poland also, Kuta and Wozniak. Big guys, aren't they?
Yeah, very.
Well, mixed actually. Johnny and Liam, whilst they're very lean, they're actually probably a little bit smaller in stature.
But a massively fast stroke rate.
Yeah, but fast but efficient. It's not just about wearing your arms.
Russian are not here. Diachenko, Pogoban.
Bit of a breeze out there, not too much.
I'm going to be biased and back the Brits on this one.
And why not? Brits lane 4, Germany lane 6. I suppose on paper they're the two favourites. Look out for lane 1, they're the fastest starters often. And they're already
Canadians got away well there.
Ronnie Rao, 32.
Wow.
Leibischer, 21. And look at them flying.
The Canadians at the top of the screen have had a cracker of a start. Lithuanians are there, the Brits are there.
Brits really pushing through in this middle section here. Although the Germans coming back up.
The Germans are just motoring.
Germany, Great Britain, Lithuania, but Germany are going to take it. We already know that with 30 metres to go. Who's going to get second? It looks like Great Britain
Go for the shoot. Oh, you'd think the Brits are in there for a silver. Lithuania maybe for the bronze. Tight racing, clinical.
It was. The Brits will be happy with that. They never like missing out, like they did last week. But like I said, Liam had raced the K1 just 20 minutes earlier, so it shows what they can do when they really focus on this one event.
Pressure. So Ronnie Rao and Tom Leibischer have just taken 3 from 3. They've won all World Cups. Probably not their best race. They're so strong out of the gates.
Really good technically from Tom Leibischer in the back.
Well, technically, they said the first race in Milan, they said they weren't in coordination for the 100 metres. And the second race, it wasn't quite perfect, but they haven't. It's winning that counts, isn't it?
That's it. Whatever gets you there.
And in the end, it's been
clear.
Almost half a boat then.
Of course, this will be the event that gets removed from the Olympics in order for women's C1, which we just saw earlier than this.
It was by vote.
So very dominant performance this season and looking to take it on again and take it on to the Russians in Russia.
Definitely.
The defending world champions.
Who haven't quite clicked yet this year according to their higher standards, but confirmation of official results. Germany take the gold, Great Britain confirmed in silver, and Lithuania in the bronze medal position. So that's 3 out of 3 for Rao and Leibischer. Interesting to see how they go towards the Worlds, because last year Leibischer was doing 200 metres and he had a couple of problems in his race, and then he won the 500 metres in the World Championships. And Ronnie Rao, I believe, is the most decorated male athlete in the World Championships. On to the C2, 200 metres for men. Difficult to call this one because there's a few of the top teams not competing, I suppose. Lane number 4, the world champions. The giant and the normal person it's going to be listening to. Stefan Holtz, who is really a giant, is the world champion. Has been, by the way, the world champion, I think 2006, before in the C1 200 metres. Russia putting in a really young team. They won last week, and they also, Lantiev and Nikolai Lipkin won, but they're putting out an under-23 team this weekend.
The local Hungarians.
Well, they've been racing fairly active this weekend, so let's see if they can keep the momentum going.
Another Hungarian team.
Nat, again, he was in the water half an hour ago, so let's see how they can come. These are even younger, so 19 years old.
Seeing how they're backing up. Sprinters.
When these paddlers double up like that, it really comes down to recovery strategy. So
Streamline here.
Yeah.
Robert
Stefan in the back there,
back.
he's a man mountain. He has to go with a smaller partner because of the weight in the boat, and obviously you don't want to be too heavy.
Cuba looked good in the Olympic Games where they made the final, and they had a very small team here this week, but they've made quite a few finals so far.
Having one of the middle lanes, they've obviously had a great semi-final.
Very, very recognisable boat to Dimitrescu and Michelaci, 25 years old each. In Milan, they took the bronze medal.
Moldova.
The brothers, let's see that they can come up with this weekend. Lane number 8, Stokolov and Pavlov. They're in all three C2, 500, 200 and 1000, and yesterday they came 4th. And China, innumerable different combinations they're trying out. Clearly the priority for them is going to be the end of the summer. For us in Europe, it's going to be the Asian Games, which dominate. They come every 4 years, and that's really their targets over here for some preparation and some race practice.
huge Chinese team out here, actually. Absolutely huge.
And the women, I think there's 10 women are going to be staying in Bulgaria for the summer, and it goes from provinces to national level up. It's different to most countries, but seriously, so who's going to go in today? Look for lane number 4 and maybe lane number 6 as the favourites. As you mentioned, Cuba did have a fast time.
Wind picking up just a little bit here. Flag starting to flutter.
For the 200 metres, will a slight crosswind, will that change things?
I don't think too much. These outside lanes might be affected a little bit, but it's such a fast, furious race that there's never too much in it. The wind's not strong enough.
They're off.
Good start from the Chinese in lane 9. The Germans.
Absolutely powering it through here, aren't they?
Well, they're already slightly ahead in lane number 4 with the Hungarian youngsters, but keeping it up with them. Hungary now taking over.
You'd have to think the Germans' boat looks better here. It's running a lot smoother. It's not bouncing as much as the lane next door, so the Germans are strong in this event.
Well, 100 metres to go, and Germany are nudging ahead, but in lane 2, Lantos and Nagy also want to get in the medals. Germany going to take the victory.
Good shoot. Hungarians had a great shoot from lane 2.
Come here and done the business.
So Stefan and Robert, great partnership. They've had good races these last couple of World Cups as well.
Yeah, with Shishi they came silver medal. They split the Russians. And the Russians in lane number 8, apparently their problem is, they said because they're specialised, well, they don't know what they're specialised in, only 500, 1000, but they said in the 200 they're not really starting to get paddling when it's all finished. But no doubt about the winners today.
Really, really like long stroke the Germans have there.
Poor Robert has to have a long stroke because Holtz is so big that he
no choice.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to go together. It must be exciting to find a partner that you can paddle with.
Yeah.
Obviously, paddling one left-sided, one right-sided, you think all your Christmases come at once when you find a partner like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Current world champions. Stefan Holtz obviously mixed out for London in the C2 1000 race, but the Germans did win it. Germany take gold, Hungary take silver, and Cuba, putting in a really good finish, actually take the bronze medal. Floody and John, Naomi Flood, John Boyton here, Great Britain and Australia. Coming towards the end of the season so far. Floody, you're heading back in a couple of days?
Yeah, that's right. We're back to Australia on Monday, and some of the boys left already, but back home for a little bit, refresh and get ready to gear up for Russia for Moscow Worlds in August.
Here we go. It's the last live televised event of the day. It's the K2 200 metres women's final, and 2 seconds on Great Britain. They've been making a lot of finals this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the two girls in the boat here, Jess Walker and Angela Hanna, have just racing the K4, so they would have to have had a really good recovery strategy. between that and this race here.
Yeah, let's see how they go. Let's give some grace to the actual competitors. Wojnarowska and Duniecka, they're both part of the K2 team. Hagmasi sisters. Anita's the oldest from Hungary. They keep providing them all the time. Went a few minutes ago. Natalia Podolskaya in the front and Vera Sobatova. They've had some really, really good results in the last few years. In Milan, they came second or third, was it?
The Russian girls are really stepping it up. They've got a great K4, 2 K4s. These are the Moldovan sisters. They're always in the mix. They're probably better at the 200. They're favoured. They start really well and they usually finish well. So 200 is perfect for them.
Jess Walker and Angela Hanna here coming in. They'll be buzzing from that K4. Let's see whether they can have another result like that in the K2.
Germany, another young crew, Volz and Cold, trying to live up to the reputation of Tina Dietz and Franziska Weber, who are mixing it up this year. They are obviously the world and Olympic champions.
And Martina Inovana here, this is from Slovakia.
They're getting a lot of events, aren't they?
These girls have been paddling for 8+ years. They're so good together.
Kowalacz, Kokaska, again part of 6 or 7 Polish girls who are really always in the mix. And we couldn't have a final without Anna Oksana Ilahachi and Victoria Schwartz. They make pretty much most finals they want to, don't they? In the last 2 or 3 years.
The Slovakian girls here, they've been, like I said, they've been paddling a long time together. I think same for kayaking and canoeing. Once you find a partner that it works, it gels, you have to run with that. You got to give that time and enough time to flourish, I guess, and work together.
Podolskaya and Sobatova, we just seen a picture, a bit of dilemma there for the Worlds because Podolskaya wants to go in the 200 meters, Sobatova the 500. So will they be able to go in the 2 boats together? It has to be decided. 22 and 20 years old.
You can see the wind has picked up a little bit. It's a bit coming from the.
You can see lane 9 almost lining up at a slight angle so that.
And they
weren't
weren't in the boot either. Lane 8 had a great start. The young Polish crew.
Great start there from the Brits. Great start for Jess Walker. Angela Hanna there. They'll be hungry to put another medal.
Lane 6 has got off to a cracker, the Germans. Germans just next door to GB. GB actually coming through really nicely here.
Last week they took silver.
The strongest part of their race is definitely the second half here.
It's going to be close.
4 boats in the line. Great Britain certainly in tension for the medal here.
And the Slovakian girls are pushing lane 7. They medalled last week. GB's just got their nose in front.
Oh!
It's a tight finish. No shoots.
Brilliant racing there. Brilliant racing. They'll be absolutely stoked with that.
Strong girls. That's a great effort backing up from the K4. Ange and Jess.
Well, this is from a British point of view. It's a very, very impressive weekend. Last week, a different combination. Lani Belcher, Rachel Cawthorne took the silver. The Belarus, by the way, Fiszkiewicz and Litvinchuk are not here this weekend, but it looks like the Brits have taken the gold this week.
Yeah, well, you can see Angela beaming from ear to ear there. She's you can tell she'd be very happy with that. Finished very strong yesterday in the K2 500, but they did miss out on a medal, so she'll be absolutely stoked with that, definitely.
And it's obviously a first that Great Britain have taken gold in K2 500, gold in K2 200. And Ed McKeever, who is he's an Olympic gold medalist. He's not here. Heath and Schofield looking good. Yourself coming up from the hedges, so it's going to be interesting to see how it comes on. But great performance.
I started my paddling career with Jess, actually. We both trained at the Royal Canoe Club, and she used to beat me by quite a long way back in the day.
Now you're the captain, you can tell her what to do. Let's have a look at the confirmation of the official results. Is it true? Great Britain take the gold. Slovakia, as you mentioned, very, very consistent, very fast, take the silver. And Poland take the bronze medal today.
Yeah, the girls would be happy with that. The Slovakian girls were on the podium last week in the 200, and like I said, they've been together many years, and I think that's one of the keys to kayak and canoe tandem and quattroing together. It's important to find good gelling and good synergy between the girls and crews.
Yeah, both like physiologically and also sometimes mentally, I think. Sometimes people can raise their game when they get in a crew boat and just have the confidence of the partner.
And John, just a quick word from yourself. How good is that for Great Britain?
That's absolutely excellent. They'll be absolutely stoked with that. There's a really kind of great vibe going through the GB camp at the moment. there are a lot of kind of exciting projects as well that we've got going on in the background. But I think this is going to be the year for GB. We're just going from strength to strength, really.
Are you allowed to have the odd beer to celebrate, or is it quickly back in the office at a time?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot coming up still in the year. So we've got the Europeans coming up in a few weeks, and obviously the World. So it's certainly not time for celebration yet. There's still a lot of work to do.
And Vladdy, your trip over here has been a success?
Yeah, it's been great. We've tried new things, K2s, K4s, and great experience for our team. Obviously, the men are always impressive. That K4000 was unbelievable yesterday, and they were all really chuffed to be on the podium and to come away with the gold. It was outstanding. Australia will go back to the drawing board, back to our camps, and work on things, nut things out, and come back bigger and stronger, and hopefully give it to the other English nations.
Yeah. That's interesting to see. We're coming to the end of our spoken live coverage. There may be some more images to you to look at as we go through the weekend. Clearly there's going to be the 5,000 metres coming up later and some other finals to enjoy, but it's been a great weekend. It's been a great season so far.
Perfect conditions here in Hungary. It was great to finish the World Cup season on this note, I think. And
yeah, it's an absolute treat racing out here. Everything's run really well. Bus is good, course is good, but most importantly, the fans are all here and they're all getting behind all the athletes, which is what they like.